Hey everyone, this is Officer Jerry Patrick, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about the Standard Response Protocol. And that is for all emergency situations and how we're going to react in each situation. Our first safety protocol or safety action that we're going to talk about today is called a lockout. And what you'll hear over the intercom, it'll be stated twice. It'll say, lockout, secure the perimeter, lockout, secure the perimeter. And what that means is that there is something going on in the neighborhoods around the building here. There's no threat inside the building. There might be some sort of like a fire in the neighborhood close by. There could be a bank robbery close by where the suspect was last seen maybe heading this way. And so during a lockout, the whole idea is to make sure that our building is completely secure. And so what we're going to be doing is making sure that if any students are outside for a gym class, we're going to make sure that everybody is inside. We're going to send people out to make sure along the perimeter of the school to make sure that we do have everybody inside. And then once we're in here, it's going to be a regular daily routine, class as usual, about as much as it can be. And you don't need to worry about anything else that's going on. Even if there was a threat, let's just say there was a threat somewhere nearby, if it did stumble onto our property here, we would change from a lockout into a lockdown. And I'll explain that in just a few minutes. So there's nothing to be worried about. If we hear a lockout is called, it just means that there's something going on in the neighborhood and the police and fire are on scene, and then we're just trying to handle the situation then. Okay? We just need to make sure that everybody does get inside the building and that all the doors completely stay locked. During that time, no one is going to be allowed in or out of the building at all. Okay? Unless it's like a major medical emergency situation that's going on, and then you would have either St. John or Officer Moffitt or myself along with the administrator, and we would escort those people in and out of the building at the time. How we would lift a lockout once it's all clear, the first responders would call back to the school and say, all right, everything is fine, everything is safe, you can go ahead and lift your lockout. How we would do that, again, it's always going to be twice over the intercom. It will say, all clear, and then, again, just business as usual. The next safety action will be hold. You'll hear hold. In class, hold in class, or whatever location you might be in the building. If you're outside the building, we do need you to come back to the building. And again, that is something that we'll work together with the administration to get those classes back into the building. But the whole idea of a hold is there is absolutely no threat going on, but we need to clear the hallways of all students and staff. The reason being is because maybe there's a medical emergency going on, and we just don't need or we want everybody's eyes on whatever the situation may be. Especially if it's a medical emergency, it's something personal. It could be, for whoever it is, whether it's a student or a staff member. And so maybe we have to get an ambulance in here. It could even be a result of maybe like a fight or something like this, where we need to clear everybody out of the hallways as quickly as possible. And so we would call the hold. How that would be lifted again, it would be by an all clear. Okay, so once we call hold, you got to make sure that you report immediately to your classroom, wherever you're supposed to be at, and stay there until told otherwise. If you're in the lunchroom, you're going to stay there. If you're in gym, you're going to stay there, wherever it may be. The next safety action is shelter. And what you will hear is shelter for two different reasons, shelter for tornado or shelter for earthquake. If you hear shelter for tornado, then what we're going to do is we're going to remain quiet. We need to line up quickly at the doorway. And during any evacuation, which is when a teacher is leading your class out of this room or out of the building, whatever it may be, the teacher will always lead the students from now on. In the past, it's always been the reverse, but from now on, we're always going to have a teacher lead the class out. In this situation here, what the teacher was going to do is line up at the building. You're all going to line up. I can't have you guys bring your backpacks or anything like that. It's just for our protocol. So we're going to line everybody up, single file, and I need you guys, everybody, to stay as close together as possible, single file, kind of like we did like in elementary school, where you don't need to hold hands or anything like that, but at least stay together so we can keep accountability. Accountability, we have to acquire that accountability for every single classroom, every teacher, every student, every staff member in this building. We got to make sure that we have accountability for everyone. And the easiest way for us to do that is if everybody stays together and just listen for direction from your teacher. So in this case, teacher would open the door. You guys will all file out. Before the teacher does that, he or she's going to look behind him and look at the last student in class. He's going to call, or they're going to call out that person's name. And I just got to make sure that that last whatever name is called out, that has to be the last student out of there. Again, that's just to make sure that we do empty the entire classroom out. Okay? When we get to the next location, for tornado, you already have a designated area for every class that you're in. You're going to go to that area, and we are going to sit on the floor. The reason why we want you guys to do that is so that way we can get accountability. Again, the teachers will be standing up, and they're going to be holding up red and green cards to make sure that they have all the kids in their class that they're supposed to have. And if they don't, we need to make sure we find the kids where they're at, and we need to get them to your location. Shelter for earthquake is a little bit different. What we're going to do is shelter for earthquake, shelter for earthquake. We're actually going to drop right where we're at, and we're going to get underneath your desk, a table, whatever it is. We're going to get underneath there. We're going to protect our head, our neckline, or our back, and our necks. Both of these will be lifted by an all clear, all clear. As soon as they're lifted, if it's an actual situation, then I need everybody to make sure that they're really, really paying close attention, because we're probably going to have to evacuate the building shortly after. And so we need everybody's cooperation and just listening and getting that direction from your teachers. Our next safety action is evacuate. There's a couple of purposes why we would have to evacuate the building. One, this is where a fire or a fire alarm situation would come into play. We're not going to say evacuate fire. We're just going to be, for this one, it'll be the alarm going off. The white lights will start flashing. As soon as we hear that alarm, then you're just going to, you're going to get up, go straight to the door. Again, the teacher's going to lead you guys outside. It's very important that we do go single file. Last person is the last person, right? You're going to call it out. We're going to file off, single file out of the classroom, down the stairs, and then or wherever they may be, and out to the parking lot. Every classroom will have a designated area outside the building. Okay, so it's very, very important that you stay with your class and you go straight to that location, wherever it may be. At that time, the teacher's going to have to gain the roll call again, attendance, and make sure that that we're accounted for everyone. All right. So again, it's going to take a lot of cooperation from everybody. I understand that people are going to talk. Kids are going to talk to each other in the hallway, but it's very important that you stay in your line, because again, we have to make sure that we have everybody in your class there. Another reason why we would have to evacuate would be for some sort of building maintenance issue. Maybe there's a gas leak, maybe there's something else going on. At that time, you would hear evacuate, evacuate, and then it would be given a location outside the building. Or it could be, depending on the winter, it could be a location in the gym or the field house. And so again, it would be evacuate, evacuate to whatever location we tell you to go to. Again, the teacher is going to lead you out, single file, somewhat try to be quiet as possible, and stay in your line until you get there, so that way we can get another head count once we get to that location. And then those would be lifted with an all clear, all clear. Our next safety action is going to be called the lockdown. What you'll hear over the intercom would be lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown, locks, lights, and out of sight. Now, whether you hear all that put out over the intercom or not, what we want to listen for, obviously, if it's a lockdown, a lockdown. This is where a situation, there is a threat inside of our building. Okay? Again, our goal is to make sure that everybody is as safe as possible in this situation. And so what we need to do is, wherever you're at, whether it's a classroom, you're in gym class, cafeteria, library, hallways, passing period, whatever it may be, you have to immediately think, and please don't second guess yourselves on this. If you hear lockdown, you have to immediately react, and you have to get somewhere into what we want you to do is get into a room, okay? Preferably a classroom, because they have the locked doors. But wherever you can get inside of a room, shut the door. We're going to turn the lights off, and then we are going to get away from whatever window. If there's a window in the doorway, then we need to get away from that window. If you could see that window in your classroom or wherever you might be, if you could see that window, you're in a bad position. You need to move immediately and get out of sight. Okay, I always like to say it's out of sight, out of mind. If there's a threat in the building, for instance, maybe there's one person, two people. If as they're walking by classrooms or they're looking in the hallways, what they're going to do is whatever is moving is going to catch their eye. It's going to attract them, and so they're going to go direct to whoever might be available for them. I like to explain to everybody that during these active situations, there's usually two situations that usually occur. One, the threat comes in and they're trying to do as much damage as possible. Whether it's to people or to property, the facility, whatever it might be. They want to just destroy whatever they can as quickly as possible because they know it has to be quick because the police are coming and there's a whole wall of squad cars that are heading this way. In the Tri-Town Police Department, every officer, I tell all this to you guys because I want everybody to feel comfortable in this as much as possible. But every police officer has a swipe card that we can get in at any door that we need to in the building. So when the first responders come here, we're going to what we call direct a threat. We're going to get inside the building as fast as possible, and we're going to try to find out wherever the threat might be. The other situation would be is where the threat comes in and they're looking for maybe what we call a target, a specific target. It might be one or two, whatever it could be, or whatever their idea is. So they're going to come in and they're going to go direct to wherever that might be. Again, as first responders, we don't know what's happening until we get that 911 phone call. Officer Moffitt is in the building, and I try to be here as much as I can. And so we have a great system here, and we just need you guys to believe in it. But number one priority is get behind a locked door. It's a proven time barrier. Okay? Don't second guess yourself. Just if you react, if you think too much, you're gonna stumble. You're gonna start second guessing yourself, and it's gonna be problems. The first thing you think of is get behind the room, get behind that door, and hide. Okay? If you can, flip the light switches off. Make sure the door is locked. If you happen to be somewhere where there is no lock on the door, like for instance, like the library, a good idea for there is just to get out of sight. I like to say get low to the ground, as low as you can to the ground. If the lights are off, it's going to be hard to see. Maybe you could tuck up underneath the desks. But again, out of sight, out of mind. What we want to look ideally for is as you're trying to find somewhere to go, what we want to do is we want to avoid whatever the threat is. Okay? Once we avoid, if we're in a classroom, then we want to deny access to that area. Okay? And so maybe if you're like in a classroom and I know that the door's all open and they go out, but that doesn't mean to say if there's a threat in a hallway and it's coming closer to this room, then what we need to do is block that doorway. And so that way, if the threat is trying to get in, you got to do whatever it takes to protect yourself. And that's where the defend comes in. So we want to avoid, deny, and defend. And that's how we need to think. There are going to be people who are going to freeze in these times. So what we need you guys to do is you need to be that good person. And if you see somebody just kind of freeze in the middle of the hallway, they don't know what to do, then grab a hold of them and literally pull them with you. Okay? Wherever you're at, you pull people with you because we have to take care of each other. If you're in the hallway, you're going to find the nearest open door, close it, lock it. When you're in this situation, we are never going to open the door for someone. Even if it's an administrator, a police officer, we will always open the door for ourselves, okay? We have keys that we can get in to every single door in this building. It's going to take a long time because it is a very large building, but we will open a door, and as I come in, for instance, if I come into the classroom, I'm going to bang on the door. It's going to say, Officer Patrick, it's Officer Patrick, I'm coming in. I'm going to open a door, and I'm going to continue to say that as I'm coming in because I don't want to get hit with like whatever it is you're defending yourself with. If in that situation, make sure that you guys are thinking about like what you could use to protect yourselves. So as I come in, I'm going to announce myself, probably do a little wave. I'm going to come in and say, it's Officer Patrick, it's Officer Patrick. I'm going to come in and show you my hands. And when I walk in, then I'm going to explain to you guys at that time, what the situation might be. And then we're going to have to evacuate the room. And so how we're going to do that is called a police evacuation. And as long as you guys listen to us and go along with it, then it would be very, very simple. What we'll have everybody do is we're going to say, the threat has been stopped. Now we need to get everybody out of here to safety. So we're going to have everybody stand up. We're going to single file. We're going to line up at the door. The teacher is going to lead. We're going to have everybody stand with our hands open, arms up. And you're going to have to stay just like this until you get to the actual evacuation location outside. And that's for officer safety. Because even though we may have stopped whatever threat's going on, rumors go around quickly, and we just don't want any problems with anybody else. So as long as we can see your hands and your arms up, then we know that you are not a threat to us. So as you guys are going in, you will not be able to take any sort of backpack with you. You're not going to be able to take any bags with you. Depending on the time of the year, maybe it's wintertime and people have big, thick jackets and stuff like that, it might take a little bit longer because we may have to pat people down really quick. Just again, for everyone's safety and for our safety, and then get everybody to the evacuation location. While you're in a lockdown in the classroom, though, there is something that we really would like to hopefully settle all of your minds as well as your parents. So in that classroom situation or whatever room that you might be in, if you have a cell phone, you need to alternate maybe 4 or 5 people at a time to text message your mom and dad and just let them know that you could just give them that really basic information. Say, I'm locked down in this room. I'm safe, okay? And I'm with whatever teacher or students, and then we will and I will text message you every 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes from now, okay? And so after those 4 or 5 students do that, the next 4 or 5 students will do that. Our goal or idea in that situation is to hopefully lighten up the airwaves from all the electronics devices that are going on, because in big situations, cell phone service always goes down, internet service always drops. And that stuff those are things that are huge for us as first responders to help secure that situation. So we're hoping that it'll lighten it up a little bit. It'll give you that peace of mind that you're safe. It'll let your mom and dad know that you're safe, and that they don't come bum rushing the building to get in here to save you. All right. Not to mention, we don't want parents running toward the building. Especially, we have to completely secure it as a police department. So we don't need other people running in that are strangers in this situation to us. Now, we are also recommended, if you're not in a classroom and you're in the hallway, if there's an exit door, if you happen to be walking by and a lockdown is called in a hallway, and you happen to be by an exit door, then we encourage you to, if the exit door is the closest thing to you, then walk out, get outside. We want you to go outside, and we're going to have 4 locations outside of the building here. There's what we call rally points, and these rally points are in the 4 corners. One of them is going to be out by the soccer field. There's a new building that's constructed in the purple lot. So that is one location. The girls' varsity softball field is another location. And then on the other side of the building, we've got up in the blue lot, which is in the very far corner up by Taco Hut. In the corner up there is going to be a location. And then the other location will be in the opposite side in the silver lot. In the very back corner, there's an opening in the fence. It's always there so you can get into the subdivision. That is going to be the other location. So those are 4 rally point locations. Those are safe locations. As first responders are coming here for a threat, the first guys are going to come here, and we're going to go direct to threat, okay? So whatever is moving, we've got to quickly scan until we find out wherever the threat might be, and then we got to either stop it right there or at least detain that area, contain it, all right? The other officers, once we radio and let them know that, hey, we've got the situation contained, now those officers are going to go to those 4 locations outside the building, and they're going to stand by there with all the students and staff members who have run from the building or run from the area, and they've gone straight there. It's very important for you guys to know, though, when you guys go to those locations outside the building, or even if you're running out, as the police officers are coming in, we understand that people are going to be, nervous, afraid, scared. Please don't take offense if we say, you know what, if I kind of push you off to the side, because I have to get inside the building and figure out where the problem is at, okay? And so it's not that we don't care about you, or you might be hurt, but we have to push you off to the side right now, and there's going to be other officers that are going to come and help you out while we go inside to contain whatever that situation is. When you guys are running outside or wherever you might be, don't think that, I know everybody's idea is to run straight to your car, and I know because I've talked to a lot of kids who are going to run to my car, and then I'm going to drive home. That would be great if you could do that. But this area is going to be so locked down so fast by police departments from not just the Tri-Town, but the Lake County Sheriff's Department. You're going to have Munster, Highland, Griffith, every police department that's out there, right? They're going to hear this call for help, and everybody who's nearby, whether they're on duty or off duty, they're going to be coming here, and they're going to be coming here right as fast as they can to help us contain whatever that situation might be. So you're going to see guys in uniform, and then you're going to see people in plain clothes. We call it plain clothes. They might just have a badge hanging around their neck or on their waist, and then hopefully they'll have their vest on and a gun. So don't be alarmed by that. If you're out at the safe locations outside the rally points and the police officers are approaching you, just do me a favor and just make sure that you at least show them your hands when they're approaching you guys, because they're going to be a little bit hesitant. If there's cars that are trying to take off out of there, we're probably going to have to stop those cars from exiting, because we've got to make sure that the suspect is not one of the cars leaving. Okay? So please don't be alarmed or be, taken back by that. We understand that, people are going to try to do that. But if you get stopped, if they're told to stop by a police officer, just stop. All right? We're there to help you. We're not there to hurt anybody. If you do make it home, accountability, like I've been saying, accountability is huge for us. We are not going home until we have accountability for every single student and staff member in this building. And so that's where we need you guys to help us out. We're trying to make it as simple and as safe for you guys to react in these situations. So what we need is for you guys to help us get that accountability. That's why you need to stay with your teachers. If you do make it away from the building and you happen to be close by and you run home, that's fine. That's okay. We have no problem with that. But you need to check in with us. And how we're going to check in is we have an email system. It's a safety email system that's set up just to gain accountability in these situations. That email address is SAFE, it's S-A-F-E, at lcsemail.com. So it's just safe at lcsemail.com. It's very simple. And all you need to do, we'll give you exact instructions with it later, but it's just basically going to give us your name, your grade level, and that you're safe, that you're okay.
Potential energy at the top of the scale is going to turn into
lockdown, locks, lights,
you guys go get Taylor, bring them, everybody back here, back here. Get down between my desk and the wall. Somebody got Taylor? Have a seat, have a seat. As best you can back there. Guys, get in here. Guys, in here, quick. Let's go, let's go. Okay, do you guys have cell phones? You four right here, text your parents, tell them you're in C327. When they're done, we'll take another 4. Let me know when you're done. Done? Done. You 4 over here, text your parents, tell them you're safe in C327. We're on a lockdown. Let me know when you're done.
It's Officer Patrick, I'm coming in. 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 All right, guys, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to evacuate out of the building now. I have a lot of police officers that are here with me to help me out. We're going to direct you out of here, but I have to have everyone. I'm going to have the teacher come on over here. You're going to lead the class out, but I need to see everybody's hands and arms open, or arms up and hands open, just like this. You cannot bring backpacks, so leave everything in here and just take your cell phone with you. But hands have to be like this. And we're going to walk single file. Please stay quiet for us and just follow the officer's direction. And we're going to lead you guys outside the building to an evacuation location, okay? Just make sure that, okay, Mr. Freckleton's going to lead, and the gentleman right there will be the last one in class. He'll be the last one leaving class, okay? All right. Let's follow out. This way, right this way, sir. Right to the stairway and look for the next officer. Third floor is all clear.